She has given away $26 billion, almost all of it to relentlessly lefty causes. She has more than $30 billion left, and she's determined to give all that away too. Only Mr. and Mrs. Gates and Warren Buffett have splashed out more money, but they did it over decades. She did it in just 7 years. No one in the history of the world has ever given away so much money as quickly as Mackenzie Scott, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. In total giving, she has already breezed by George Soros, and he has only $7.5 billion left. And some people think she's as bad as Soros. In 2024, Elon Musk tweeted that she should be listed among reasons that Western civilization died. Well, how bad is she? What's she up to? And more mysteriously, why? The organization that pushes money out the door is called Yield Giving, and it has written checks to 2,546 organizations, all of them federally recognized nonprofits. That means no individuals, no political campaigns, no certified crazies like the No Effing Around Coalition or New Black Panthers. The Yield Giving website lists every grant to every grantee with links to their websites. You can sort grants by activity category, one of which is race and ethnicity. Here you can see at the top left, Alaska Pacific University got $18 million. All Our Kin got $3 million. But continuing down, All Voting is Local and Alliance for Safety and Justice say disclosure delayed for the amount. Some groups seem to be shy about how much money they got. And here you can see that 987 out of the 2,711 grants fell into the race and ethnicity category. 115 grants were in the sexual orientation category, and 226 supported the gender identity business. Something called Action Opportunity Fund picked up a combined $38 million. Also, as you can see, a single group can be in several categories. Action Opportunity is both gender identity and race and ethnicity. But there's a racial angle to just about everything Yield Giving does. I picked the category museums, where I figured I could find non-racial grants. And here are the first three. The first one, Access, isn't in the race category, but it turns out Access is the most comprehensive Arab-American nonprofit organization in the nation. The next one down is a Museum of African American History, but it doesn't claim to be in the race category either. Only El Museo del Barrio, which is obviously Hispanic, admits it's all about race and ethnicity. There are only 27 museum grants on the list, so I checked them all. They include the Emmett Till Interpretive Center, the Japanese American National Museum, the Jackie Robinson Foundation, etc. But I found one that is not explicitly racial. The George W. Bush Presidential Center got $10 million. How did it make the cut? Well, maybe it's because it has a big section on immigration that Ilhan Omar could have written. It's the same story for the, again, 27 grants for visual arts. Unity Productions Foundation sounds generic, but its stated goal is to counter bigotry and create peace through the media. Foundation for Contemporary Arts seems innocent, but this was its homepage. The grant recipient in the upper right appears to be a white man, but he is a they-them. Other groups are more explicit. Cinema by and about communities of color, Center for Urban Pedagogy, etc. Mackenzie Scott is very big on minority education. She has given more than $1 billion to black colleges and millions to every Hispanic, American Indian, and Eskimo college you've never heard of. But Lehman College in the Bronx? It's part of New York's City University system. What's the story here? Well, its student body is 43% Hispanic, 35% black, 7% Asian, whites, 4%. There's your racial angle. At first, I was surprised to find that about 60 branches of the YWCA have gotten money. But the organization isn't about young Christian women anymore. Look at its national logo. Eliminating racism, empowering women. The franchise has a girl boss, of course, and sure enough, she's black. This year, the big national campaign it's pushing is Until Justice Just Is. Racial justice, of course. Here is the homepage of the Y in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, in the heart of Amish country. Note the logo, upper left. This year, it's holding its 28th annual Race Against Racism. The whole site is marinated in justice, systems of oppression, equity. All YWCAs are like this now, and Miss Scott's money helps keep them that way. So that's where the billions go, along with healthy dollops for immigrant rights, environmental justice, and Planned Parenthood. How did McKinsey become a super lefty financial juggernaut? Well, she was born in 1970 and grew up in San Francisco. Her father had an investment business and enough money to send her to Hotchkiss, a very fancy boarding school in Massachusetts. Daddy, however, was a bit of a swindler. He declared a suspicious bankruptcy. The SEC checked him out and barred him forever from the finance business. This was a jolt for young McKinsey after the high life she'd been leading, and she had to work several jobs to get through Princeton. In college, trigger warning, she studied creative writing under the Black Nobel laureate Toni Morrison, and did research for Morrison's 1992 novel, Jazz. She then went to work for a New York City hedge fund, where she met Jeff Bezos, whom she married in 1993. They moved to Seattle and started Amazon. She was very involved in the early days, but after the company got off the ground, she stayed home to rear the couple's 3 boys. Trigger warning number 2. Sometime in the mid-2000s, the couple adopted a Chinese girl, of whom there are very few photographs. Jeff had a wandering eye, and after 25 years, he chucked McKinsey and took up with Lauren Sanchez. In 2019, when the divorce finalized, McKinsey got a consolation prize of $37 billion worth of Amazon stock, and she quickly started giving it away. In 2021, she married a high school science teacher, but filed for divorce the next year. So at age 55, she is a pretty eligible bachelorette. That's the story, as far as I can tell. Yes, she liked Toni Morrison. And yes, they adopted a Chinese girl. And yes, when Americans get rich, they're supposed to give money to charity. But did it have to go to Inco Moco, the trans queer liberation movement, and urban bushwomen, for heaven's sake? These are admittedly a little on the wild side, even for Mackenzie Scott. But you could argue that, yes, that was where the money pretty much had to go. Lady Bountiful writes what she calls essays and posts them on her site. She quotes Hopi prophecies and Dakota poetesses and jots down her own musings, of which this is a sample. The peace-fostering byproducts of one unexpected act of kindness towards a stranger of different background or beliefs might inspire a beneficial chain reaction that goes on for years. Isn't this exactly the sort of thing you would expect her to write? It's exactly the sort of thing a million other well-meaning white women would write. But this one has given away $26 billion and has $30 billion more to go. I'm sure Mackenzie Scott is a kind woman. She gives her fortune away quietly. She refuses interviews, even though you know she would get adoring coverage. She doesn't swan about in Davos or Hollywood. She's not peddling a line of lipstick or handbags. But this woman is snared in the near universal belief that for white people, generosity means never taking your own side. Nobility means caring about every race but your own. I wonder if Mackenzie Scott ever dreams of a grateful President Kamala or AOC giving her the Presidential Medal of Freedom for all her services to marginalized communities. I think she can keep dreaming. They will honor their own people, not Whitey. If they think about her at all, it'll be to say she didn't do enough. Mackenzie Scott is feeding a monster that can never be satisfied. The more it eats, the angrier it gets. She is cheerfully heaping up the funeral pyre for her own people. She will escape the flames, but many will not. She does immensely more damage than clowns like Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton. She is a tragic example of good intentions gone colossally wrong.